Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering, can you traditionally publish a self-published book? Traditional publishing is preferable if you're trying to get wider visibility or mainstream attention for your book, but it's interesting to see how self-publishing and traditional publishing both fit together. By the end of this video, you'll learn some of the reasons why self-published books do get picked up for traditional publishing, why an author's success can allow their back title to lift up, and one of my favorite stories about a self-published author who made it big. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. When you think about traditional publishing and self-publishing, I think it's important to kind of take a step back and you just kind of walk through the process for each of those options. With traditional publishing, it really requires you to put together a book proposal, which is a roadmap for the entire book, to work with an agent. The agent then pitches the book proposal and the project to a publisher. The publishing house decides to represent the work and work with you to bring it forward. None of those things have to exist for self-publishing. There doesn't need to be a book proposal. There doesn't need to be an agent. There doesn't need to be a publishing house. It is simply you deciding to bring it forward to publication. So there's these two different tracks. And one of the key reasons why people self-publish today instead of traditionally publish, because traditionally publishing can come with bigger media visibility and more widespread attention. At the same time, it takes so much longer to bring your book to publication. I'm working on books right now with people who are going to be publishing this year. And if they were traditionally publishing, their books would be coming out 2 years from now, 2.5 years from now. It's a long, drawn-out process from one stage to the next. And for a lot of authors, it's simply not worth it to sit there and wait. When you think about traditional publishing, publishers are typically focused on sales and platform growth. They want to know that you can sell copies of your book. You could do that through self-publishing. You could actually show them that you can sell lots and lots of copies. And if you can do that, there's a possibility that a traditional publisher will be interested in picking up your book. It does happen. There needs to be proof of market demand. There needs to be consistent, steady growth in sales that needs to continue and continue and continue. This can't be one little flash in the pan. This has to be something sustained that the publisher knows that they're going to be able to bank on X number of sales every single week because you're promoting it or because this flywheel is going so well, you know, that they can guarantee that books are going to sell every single week, or that working with the traditional publisher and working with their marketing team, you know, you can get there. Some authors will take books that they self-published and traditionally publish with an expanded version, a new edition. It's neat when you can take a book that's been published and bring new life into it. Maybe there's a new edition that's being published, you know? Maybe it's being updated for different events that have happened in recent years. It's so meaningful when you can take a book that's already been created, already been published, build on it, and bring it out to new people to share it with a new audience. Ultimately, success attracts options. Success attracts opportunities. Success opens doors. The more successful you are at selling books and the more successful you are at putting powerful message out into the world, the more likely it is that a traditional publisher will take a chance on you or be willing to talk to you. You need to be able to show them something that they can benefit from. If you can't sell any copies of your book, it's going to be really difficult. Even if you have the best written book in the world, if you can't sell copies of it and you don't have a system in place for selling those copies, it's going to be tougher. Traditional publishers are looking for consistent, steady growth, consistent, steady progress, consistent, steady sales. And if you can show them those things, it's going to open up doors for you. At the same time, is it something that you even want to consider? Do you need a traditional publisher? If you're selling lots of books, do you need to traditionally publish? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to bring the credibility of traditional publishing to what you're trying to accomplish with your book. I'll tell you one person who decided that they didn't need traditional publishing. Somebody you might have heard of. Her name is Taylor Swift. She's a musician. Up-and-coming star. I hope, you know, she can make it big someday. She decided a couple years ago that she was going to self-publish her book through Target. Now, obviously, me self-publishing and Taylor Swift self-publishing, not exactly the same thing. Yes, we grew up in similar areas of Pennsylvania, but that's pretty much where it all ends. But she self-published her book because she realized that she didn't need a traditional publisher to get copies of her book sold. She didn't need their help. She was basically above the game. And you're seeing that now with other authors, successful authors with established platforms. They're not wasting their time with a traditional publisher. They are working with self-published models because they get to keep more percentage of sales. They don't have to worry about the royalty game. They don't need to share anything with anybody other than the platforms. That's it. And it's a really neat process to be able to own this and do it yourself. When I think about a self-published book turn success, turn traditional publishing attention, I think of my friend Jonathan Stanley. You know, Jonathan went super viral on TikTok in 2025. He was at a bookstore in Pennsylvania, different part of Pennsylvania than me and Taylor Swift grew up in, but at the same time, still Pennsylvania. A lot of Pennsylvania stories in this episode. He was at a bookstore in Pennsylvania doing a book signing. And a woman and her daughter were there, and they interacted with Jonathan. They had a really nice exchange. And the woman ended up recording video of Jonathan, posting it on TikTok. It went super viral. He had 750,000 TikTok followers in the span of a day. Sold 10,000 copies of his book in a week. Got represented by a very successful agency and has been finding success with his offerings. Finding success with what's ahead. One of the things that they ended up doing was working with an established publisher to bring forward Jonathan's audiobook, which was really interesting for me. You know, here's this self-published book that went super viral. Jonathan had been working on an audiobook with somebody. It wasn't quite there. He wasn't quite happy with it, and then ended up, you know, getting a deal on it and recording it himself and putting it out into the world. And it's super meaningful to see the success that can come from that, that there's avenues that open and doors that unlock because of the success and the sales that he's had, that traditional publishers want to take a chance on him because they trust that he can sell copies of his book. He's a huge success story, and it's really awesome to see how much success he's been able to attain from this awesome book, Purposeful Performance, that he put together, and see that there's new life into it. You know, now we have an audiobook with Jonathan talking, you know, and there's his voice right there. It's amazing. It's amazing to hear his voice. I think it's really special when an author can put their voice on their audio book. And Jonathan did that. And a traditional publisher was all in on working with him to bring that forward. When you think of that pipeline from self-publishing to traditional publishing, it is possible, but you need to show something special. You need to have an amazing message. You need to have great sales. You need to know how to sell your book or have avenues to sell your book. And if you can line up those things and have a commercially viable product that people want to read, 100%, doors are going to keep opening for you. Just keep pushing, keep believing, and keep striving for that next step. If you're interested in learning more about can you traditionally publish a self-published book, I would love to talk to you. I am so interested in hearing your story, getting your perspectives, learning more about your project, and potentially how I might be able to help you. So if you're interested in talking to me, go to my website. It's goodghostwriter.com. You can click the link below, goodghostwriter.com, and let's talk. Let's talk about your book. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.